Hi there, welcome to yet another episode. I'm seated somewhere very natural. Just have a look at the background. Isn't it natural, refreshing, and all that? So I love where I am. I'm seated on a kitimoto. It's called kitimoto in Kiswahili. You can call it a stool in English. So I'm cooking and I want to talk to parents, and especially parents that have teenagers. So guys, it is high time we talk about our teenagers. I think the last video I did about teenagers is around 2 months ago. And therefore we have one parent who requested me to just say something about teenagers. And therefore I have this. So are you ready? Please watch the video up to the end. So there's one or two things that I'd like to mention about teenagers. The first one, do you know that your teenager can read your mind? Have you ever thought of that? These guys are very intelligent. So if you have never thought of your teenager as intelligent, so let me tell you for free, they are very intelligent. And that is why they are able to read your mind. Sometimes you may wonder, like, how did you give in to something that your teen requested from you? And maybe this is something that you had said no. You may ask yourself, like, really, what happened? Like, how did they manipulate you into giving in? And the reason is because they can read your mind. And that is why they are able to play around with you. They know the buttons to press. So if I can call that the buttons, they know the buttons to press. Like, they know when they say this, when they do that, mom or dad is going to give in. And that is what they usually do. Have you ever asked yourself such questions? Are they able to read your mind? And of course they are. Watch out as a parent to a teenager, and you're going to realize that they can read you just like a book. Don't think that you are the only person who can read them. They can equally read you. They're intelligent. Remember, these are teens that are already older. They are kinder adults. So they can read your mind. They know what to say. They know what to do. They know how to get that thing that they want from you. So be on the lookout, so that sometimes you are one or two steps ahead of them. There's a friend, a very good friend of mine, who told me one thing. As a parent to a teenager, this is what she usually does. Over the holidays, and especially when they're home, that is after during school holidays. So most of the time she gets from work at around 5 in the evening, just like most parents do. But when these guys are at home, she's always one step ahead of them. So there's a day where she decides just to pop in at 2 p.m. And they're like, wow, mom, where are you coming from? And most of the time she has discovered one or two things about her teen and her buddies. So she's able to know the kind of teenager that she's raising. So as a parent, don't be too predictable. You know, sometimes just become unpredictable. Let them not be able to know your moods, your feelings, the way you're going to react. You know, like being a teacher, sometimes there are teenagers when you talk to, this is what they'll tell you, that please don't call my dad. And especially when they have done a mistake, don't tell my father. And when you ask them the reason why they don't want their father to be informed, they'll tell you, my father is very harsh. If he comes here, he's going to beat me and all that. And then sometimes I ask them, like, who do you want me to call? And most of them, remember I've said most. And this is where it is interesting. Majority of teenagers, especially when they do mistakes, they prefer mothers. I've taught teenagers for a long time, and I know they'll prefer mothers. And the reason is because they know that mothers have a soft spot. What does that mean? It means that this teenager has been able to read between the mother and the father. So they know who to turn to in a given situation and who not to turn to. So they know between dad and mom who they can play around with and who cannot entertain, cannot entertain mistakes and such, and therefore become unpredictable as a parent. And especially where mistakes are. Don't be that parent who your teenager will prefer you to come in, and especially when they have done mistakes, because they know you are kind of soft, you are going to side with them. And even we have teenagers that are very manipulative. I had such a case at some point. There's this teenager who did a mistake in school, and when we asked her, who should we call? She preferred her mother. And when the mother came, you can just imagine, she was able to convince her mother not to tell the father what happened. And imagine the mother bought the idea. She never told the dad why the major reason that she was called in school. So you can imagine what kind of teenagers are we raising if they are able to manipulate us. So I am keeping on changing my camera because my hands are kind of tired. So the other thing, the final one that I want to share with you concerning teenagers is that they are very, very intelligent. Don't ever underestimate a teenager. Very, very intelligent. So don't think that you're intelligent. In Kiswahili we say, pwagu hupata pwaguzi. Sometimes you may think that you are the best, but there is someone who is going to beat you on at your own game. They are going to beat you at your own game. And when it comes to parenting, the people who beat us at our own game, and especially if we are not careful, are our teenagers. So please don't ever forget that. Our teenagers usually beat us in our own game because they are manipulative, they are very intelligent, they know how to play with our emotions, they know the buttons that they need to just press and something can be given to them. There are those teenagers even who will pretend that they are not going to eat. You can imagine, like they're not going to eat for 3 days. As a parent, you may find yourself like this is something that is going to make you become frustrated, and therefore you end up giving in. If they want you to buy for them something, you find yourself buying that particular thing and you did not plan for. And the reason is because these kids have used the intelligence that they have to play around with us. And then finally, parents to teenagers. Social media. So I think I've mentioned social media in most of my videos. Social media has really, really, really impacted negatively on our teenagers. Don't get me wrong. We also have the positive sides of social media. But the problem is our teenagers are not using social media to gain. Rather, they are using social media like for self-destruction. And remember, the point here is on intelligence. These people are too intelligent. Sometimes they may even use your phone. You know, call their boyfriend, call their girlfriend, make plans, and you're just there, you don't know. They are going to delete messages. Sometimes they take photos even using your phones, and these are obscene photos, and they share out, and you don't know as a parent. And the reason is because they try as much as possible to be so many steps ahead of us. So as a parent to a teenager, what can I tell you? I can tell you that be very keen, be very present, and especially presence. Be very present. Try as much as possible. As much as you may be very busy chasing money, trying to provide a life to these teenagers, ensure that you're present, because if you're not present, then you are going to regret. There are things that you are going to miss out. Don't trust so much your children with other people. Remember, it is your sole responsibility as a primary caregiver to your children to ensure that they grow and become the best that they can be. So please, not trusting your children like 100% with other people like house helps and such. Be present so that you learn and ensure that your teen grows up to become a very successful person. Your teenager grows up to become a morally upright child, and you know, that kind of child that you will look back and become proud of. And the reason that you'll be proud is because you've been part and parcel of their lives. So what do you think, dear parents, and especially parents to teenagers or people that handle teenagers on a day-to-day basis? Please drop a comment. Don't forget to like this video. Bye-bye for now.